All right, so we're going to do daily video as promised. We're going to kind of try to slice through this book, but fuck me, right? I don't have a tripod. That's also fuck me number one. But fuck me number two is I listened to the audiobook of this, and I listened to an hour, or probably even more of it. And I've listened to it before, but it's just the same old shit, isn't it? I read this 15 years ago, June of 2006. That's 15 years now, almost 15 years. And it was kind of validating in some ways that, yeah, your parents suck and that's fine. But it's nothing happened in the last 15 years, basically. I mean, but well, let's get into it. So, and I've probably even mentioned this story before. The first example is in the introduction. She mentions a guy named Gordon. He's a doctor. He's hot-tempered. He yells at the wife. The wife kind of is threatening to leave him if he doesn't get his temper under control or something like that. And then Susan is like, the therapist is like, well, how were your parents? How was your father? And the father was just verbally abusive. Always kind of put him down, beat him regularly with a belt 3 times a week, that sort of thing, or whatever. So the anger kind of comes out that way. I don't know. I mean, is it genetics? Is it nature, nurture? I don't care. I don't know. Maybe, to some degree, whatever. Okay, don't yell at your wife. Maybe if you realize, okay, my father did this to me, I don't want to do this to other people. Fantastic. Good for Gordon. He's probably going to be a success, as the later chapters in the book tell us, if I recall correctly. So that's good, but is it that I'm having problems screaming at people? Is it like that? Is it we can pinpoint what I'm doing? No, it's that, again, the sort of dynamic. I read the letter out loud, right? My complaints about my shitty parents. Can you talk to anyone about those sort of dynamics? So, for example, Gordon here said that he was beaten by his father, right? Beaten with a belt. Could he talk to anyone then when he was a child? No. So is it really that you're screaming at your wife and you're kind of maybe taking out on her and that sort of thing many years later? It's part of it, but Gordon couldn't talk to anyone about this. Well, guess who couldn't talk to anyone about this when I read this 15 years ago, right? 2006. So that's kind of it. It's kind of a weird sort of meta thing that the book is okay. It was a bit validating, but the bigger part of the book is that you can't talk about the book. Is there anywhere where I can show up and talk about it? Was there anyone in 2006? There really isn't. And that's what always sucks about this, that it's not like, oh, I'm yelling at my wife, and oh, well, my father did this to me, and oh, well, sorry, Beatrice, I won't do this now. It's just too myopic. It's too focusing on this relationship, and not the bird's eye view of, oh, okay, yeah, my father sucks. I shouldn't talk to my wife this way. But wait, I couldn't talk to anyone else about it. I couldn't talk to my mother about it because there's a father and a mother. I couldn't talk to anyone else about it, right? It's the whole thing is rotten. It's not just, oh, the father was terrible. Yeah, he was, but you couldn't talk to anyone else about it, right? Chapter 1, 2, whatever. A lot of people have this issue of, oh, well, I know my parents did bad stuff to me, but oh, I just feel guilty. I don't want to blame them, meh. Or they kind of blame themselves. They internalize it, especially as children. They might say, if the parents say, oh, you're bad, you're upsetting us, or whatever, the parents say this to the kid, they internalize it, and oh, I'm doing bad things, meh. As people often will say, right? I don't have that. I didn't have it then. I don't have it now. This idea of, oh, I just can't blame my parents. Bleh. People have this slave mentality, right? Where they just internalize the abuser. Yeah, that's what it is. That's all it is. I didn't even have that. So, if some people have that, that's their issue. It's great. Susan Ford here is going to coax you out of that maybe. And it's okay. It's okay to blame your parents. Did you know? But even when I was reading this in 2006, I didn't need someone to tell me it's okay to blame them. I was like, oh, I can't blame them. And, Now, I sort of knew in the sense that, again, I couldn't talk to anyone about the book. I couldn't talk to anyone else about the stories regarding blaming the parents. The letter I read, right? I don't know, 200 and whatever video was. I don't care. So I sort of knew that, yeah, I can't talk about it. I didn't internalize it, right? I didn't say, well, I can't talk about it and other people don't, so I'm a bad person. Man, I didn't internalize it that way, right? So anyways, that's kind of it. It's just round and round we go, and I don't know. I guess this is part of it. I said I'm finished. I'm going to read through this book. If there's something interesting in there, I'll write it down. Hopefully I can be a little more, hey, on page whatever it was, but it's just this wave of, the despair isn't even that much. Maybe that's good. I don't know. But it's just this, it's the same old shit. I know what this is. Okay, fine. Yeah, Gordon has a temper. Yeah, don't yell at your wife. Fine. Okay, yeah, it goes back to mommy and dad. Fine. But it's that bird's eye view of, but you can't talk to anyone else about it. It's not that your father, was an asshole to you. It's that you couldn't talk to anyone else about it, right? It's not your father. No. It's not your mother. No. It's that there's no one else, right? Yeah, forgive. Now, Susan, well, spoiler alert, there are some other chapters in here, and Susan's like, you don't have to forgive anyone. Good, because, that's the bane of my existence as well. But the point is, yeah, it's the same old stuff. And in some ways, that is some progress, 15 years, but because when I read it, it felt good. One of the reasons, and I probably mentioned this before, but I don't know if you can see it here. The lighting is not, well, the lighting's pretty decent today. It's a little bit, the pages are a little bit not totally straight. I don't know if you can see it. The point is, it's been, you can kind of see it's not straight, kind of like where my fingers are like that. Part of it is I read this in the bathtub back in the apartment. It wasn't even the old house. And it just got a little bit humid and wet, right? Because I read it a lot. I read it. It was a fascinating read. It was like, all right, fine. But I've kind of outgrown it and realized, okay, yeah, all right, fine, but it's just not enough. It just doesn't take you to that level of, but it's not just the parents. It's not, no. No, it's not that. I hope I've not been covering up the microphone hole with my hand here. Where is the microphone hole? Let me see. I think it's right. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We'll figure it out. Who cares? But the point is, yeah, so I'm going to finish reading this. Hopefully I can... But that is the main... No, okay. No. I need to drink more. I'm going to pass out here. Ugh. I didn't say, I didn't say that 15 years ago when I was about to get away from my parents. With that letter, right, kind of, sort of, it's like, okay, that's nice, but I can't talk to anyone about that. But I could maybe feel it. I could maybe say it a little bit, think it a little bit. But now I can say, so 15 years, what wonderful progress. I can say what I kind of was thinking 15 years ago. Wow. But it's different, I guess. It's more. It's not the, oh, well, you're yelling at your wife. Okay, yeah, that's not good. Okay, fine. And yeah, maybe it's your father. Okay. But it's not. It's that, again, the story is Gordon was beaten, 3 times a week or something for the slightest transgressions, right? And then now that Gordon's grown up, he's a doctor, but he wants to be more holistic medicine or something. And the father doesn't approve, right? So the father's just like, you're terrible. I don't want to talk to you. So if you do something the father doesn't like, he just lashes out and starts beating you. As an adult, he can't do that, but he just does the emotional withdrawal okay. But it's not the father then. It's not just the father. It's that you couldn't talk to anyone about it, right? So anyways, yeah, not to belabor the point even more, but yeah, that's just what it is. So that's the progress, and right, so, hopefully, yeah. So yeah, well, I'll continue reading this, but Okay, I don't know what to say. It's not just the fucking, oh, your father sucked. Yeah, they did. Okay, yeah, they might have. But it's not just them.